You know what? I'm too behind on these GAC videos. We're just going to skip to the finals week. Round 1 against Axel Alucard. Let's go and check it out. Alrighty, as always, we're going to start off with a bit of a hot comparison. So, Raxel Alucard, he is in Bad Batched Unleashed and has about, what, a good advantage on me, I'd say. Not a massive advantage, about 600,000 GP at the time of this particular matchmaking. He's got more armies than me, more Zetas, obviously. He's got a lot more mods, but apparently hasn't been as good on the very, very top end. Hasn't been as lucky as I have on the top end of speed mods. He beats me on all the other speed metrics as well as offensive metrics as well. He's got 2 Relic 9s, so he's got more Relic 9s than me, but I have more Relic 8s. Overall, he's got a few more Relic levels overall. When we look at GLs, he has got just 1 more GL than me, which makes me feel quite comfortable. And then in the speeds down here, we're looking pretty even. I think I've got speeds, more importantly, where it matters, I feel. He's outside of range for the DR counter on Imperial Troopers, which is nice, but he does have the R9 exec. So let's go ahead and jump into the defense overview. And here we go. We can see that he had already attacked by the time I'd went through. He'd cleared through all my GLs. He dropped a battle on my GL Ray, which made me quite happy. But I don't think he actually dropped anywhere else. Let's just take a look here. So on the back wall over here, I think I hid my Starkiller. He did drop a battle against Starkiller, but 1755 is still pretty decent score, I'd say, with 2 dropped battles. He didn't drop anything on the fleet or the North Wall. Actually dropped another battle there on Kiadi-Mundi. Didn't notice that, apologies. Let's get into his defense now. In the north, we've got a Maul lead Sith, we've got Genosians, we've got a Mon Mothma with Kyle Katarn, and we've got a standard General Grievous. In the south section, we're rocking up against a Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron, a Maul lead team, we've got Darth Revan, and we've got an Iden Versio team. So far, none of these teams really give me pause for thought, and there's no GLs to be seen. So, let's get into the first battle. Even though his DR is relatively fast and is running Talon, I was feeling quite confident that I could use a Imperial Troopers team here just to deal with it. I didn't need to use my Shakti to be countering any Lord Vader teams because he didn't have it, so I thought this may as well be as good a location as anywhere to take in my Imperial Troopers. Now this can be a bit of a dodgy counter sometimes, guys, if you really don't know what you're doing, but once you've got the strat down and you know the different permutations of the battle, it's actually pretty easy. So for this one, he's running Marauder. There's no tank and there's no HK. Marauder causes a little bit of an issue, but if you've got Death Trooper, it does make that a little bit easier. Now here, I was a little too slow off the mark. It doesn't matter in the end though, we just had to waste the first opening salvo on Darth Malak. Looked a bit scary at the start, but we're actually okay. We go ahead and stomp with Range Trooper here, getting up those offense up, get the Retribution, and just kill Talia straight out the gate. Lovely. That means she can't be giving any of those nice tasty bonuses over to Revan. Now we want to try and go after Bastila Shan immediately afterwards. I didn't use the AoE there because I didn't want to get caught behind Malak again. So we hopefully just punch Bastila Shan's lights out now. A double tap coming out of our boy Dark Trooper. Punch bot is best bot, guys. It has been confirmed. Now again, Marauder is a pain. I highly recommend using Death Trooper here to apply that death mark on him, otherwise he will just constantly recover. Now we get the big mass assist over on Malak, and the double tap from Dark Trooper sees him off. Now it's just the lone Darth Revan. So the only thing we really lose here, guys, is a bit of protection. I like it, 74. So, Iden Versio with a decent team of Imperial Troopers to go with her. Now I'm taking a Wampa here. As usual, guys, you do want to make sure that this Iden Versio doesn't have enough potency to stun your Wampa out the gate. Mine is rocking something like 220% tenacity, so she would need to have at least 120% potency to even have a faint chance of landing that debuff. Fortunately, at gear 11, there was no way for her to get that high, so I was quite confident that this Wampa counter is going to work. We just need to give Wampa the time to power up on his roars there. Shore Trooper, though Relic 3, relatively tanky, just is not enough. Is not enough. We get the roar off, and she's applying that. Can't remember what the name of that buff is. I don't think it really matters at this point. we're just going to womp our way through it as a wompy womp should. You know, Wampacron, best Omicron ever. Hashtag represent. Alright, so obviously you don't want to be hitting Iden Versio herself, she'll just revive herself, but killing off the other guys is where it's at. Wampa stacks so much tenacity over this time and has such a high health pool and such a high offense stacking that he will eventually kill pretty much anything. So Womp, the claws go in, and let's go ahead and take out Death Trooper, Wompity Womp. Come on Wampa, do your wompy business. There we go. And the dots kill Iden. 68 banners, I'll take it. Alright, next up we've got a Maul mirror match. I didn't want to mess around fighting this Maul. I wanted to save units just in case he had a GL on the back wall. So I went in with just a Maul mirror match here. I thought it would go very well for me because if I just take in what, I'm going to get a turn immediately and just trigger my frenzy. And that should be game over, right? He had a pretty fast Droideka here. So his Droideka was around 230 or something. Gains 50% additional speed, obviously. So at 230, it's gaining like an extra, what, 165 speed. So it puts him at nearly 400 speed, really. So you've got to watch out for those tricky Droidekas, guys. But obviously, Wat gets a bonus turn, and we just start going to town immediately. I like this because we get a lot of the people very low. And we kill Candyman, and we can do the AoE. Oop, there goes Django, restacking up on our frenzy. Our hatred, or whatever it is. Maul's special ability. At this point, I decided, you know what, I think armor is missing just a little bit of protection. Might as well throw that over there and then just clean up house, really. If we can make it so that their Maul doesn't get a turn, all the better. Just go ahead and finish off that Django. And then we're like, okay, Maul's got his turn. Now, OG Maul, Maul can't counterattack against the Seething Rage ability. It's impossible to counter it. So I was like, alright, happy days. Max banners on that one, 65. We had one final team on the front wall, and it was a Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron. Now, I decided to use the Bad Batch here because I didn't really have a location to use them apart from this. It is worth noting that they are running Ezra in this comp, which means it's not a full Galactic Republic setup, which also means it's missing 100% extra damage on Anakin's bonus turn. So it's a pretty safe counter at this point, but, you know, I wouldn't underestimate it there. See, if that had a full contingent of Galactic Republic Jedi, I guarantee you that that my Gear 9 Omega would have bit the dust. So yeah, we're looking pretty good here. Everybody's dying, obviously triggering Anakin all the time, thanks to us being stuck behind Kenobi. He's stunned and he has that foresight, which means we're still hitting and we're doing that true damage. There goes Omega, bless her little cotton socks. Eventually we'll get around all this. And Anakin can finally get his just desserts. I don't mind dropping a couple of banners here. All I was really hoping for was the one taps, and that would secure our victory. Goodbye Bananakin, 61 banners, and that I believe is the last team for us to see what's on his back wall. Now this is going to really determine how well we'll do. Has he got 3 GLs back there, for example? I imagine not, but you never know. And on his back wall we have got a Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. It does not have the ult though, so it should make things pretty easy, and the last two teams are basically a joke. So I'm feeling really confident at this point. You know, I've still got 1 GL to work with on offense. I think we may as well use that there, or perhaps I practice the JKR/JKL combo here because it doesn't have the doesn't have the ultimate. But yeah, things are looking good. Next battle. So yeah, we do decide to use the JKR/JKL combo against this. It's pretty safe, and I decided to do this for practice. There's no Sith Trooper in here either. It makes it even easier for us. Go ahead and turn the meter over to Jedi Knight Luke, gain the stun at the gate, and then we just start hammering away. I probably should have done that attack there on the Stormtrooper, but hey, no big deal. Go ahead and focus General Hux. There goes the dodge. We get the extra Master's Training over here on Jedi Knight Luke. There goes Hux. Hux is done for. And who are we going to call in here? Am I just doing a basic? Just doing a basic here. I think we try and get the ability block with Bastila Shan. We did not land it, unfortunately. He resisted that ability block. Try and get the buff immunity on crew. We eat a big hit there from Slacker, and we start taunting. Now, fortunately, we had the Zeta there to get the second part of that taunt, but yeah, we're still looking okay here. I'm feeling confident. Without his ult, He's missing a big proponent of damage, and AoE damage in particular. Yeah, we don't have to worry about him siphoning too much stats and ramping up damage. And just clear out crew. Not having to worry about Sith Trooper is also another blessing. Finally hit Savior, and just focus down on Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. I'm quite confident that we can just outright kill him at this point. Pop him once. Let's go. Get a bit of a heal. Unfortunately, do lose Revan there. Get the ability block. Lovely. And then we'll do the big stun. Boop. Some good damage. He kills our old Ben. But we're looking okay in the end. Pass the buffs over to Jedi Knight Luke. There we go. Slacker is gone. So yeah, it's not great on banners. Probably would have been better if I'd have used those banners with my actual JML. But there we go. Next up is his Genosians. I decided to take in a complete overkill team here against these Geos. There are some relic levels, and I was thinking we've done pretty well on ground so far. We haven't dropped any battles, and there's no GLs left on the field. So we might as well overkill this just to guarantee a one-tap. You never know when that spy gets a lucky crit against your crit avoidance modded Scion or Scion or Traya, and then, you know, pulls out a drop that was completely avoidable. So I throw in the extra characters just to absorb some hits. I don't think it was necessary at all, but we may as well have done it just to try and really secure our ground game. Get the stun off, the isolate off on the brute here, and now we're just waiting for us to get through and kill one of their characters. Go after Poggle here, and the Gear 9 Nihilus actually gets a kill. Probably his first time in his entire career that he's actually landed a kill in Grand Arena for me. And we're just playing the waiting game here. Actually get the drain off, increase the cooldowns on everybody thanks to all that pain that's on the board. You love to see it. And slowly get the help by hatred. Now Scion is incredibly angry. What else is new? There goes GBA. We're just waiting. We get an annihilate off with our Nihilus. You love to see it. And then just bop out the spy for the final. 56 banners is trash, guys, but I don't care. So next up, we've got a standard Grievous team here with Newt. I take in CLS. This can be a little bit risky, I will admit. Things can get out of hand if he gets a lot of target locks out there and you stop counterattacking. Alternatively, you could just win. And that's exactly what I intend to do in this particular battle. I'm not flipping over the call to action because I would like to I'd like to maintain that additional tenacity. Stun the B2 and then actually kill him outright. So like, okay, well, that's something. I could go over and target GG himself, but I decide to leave it for now. Try and get the stun on him, accidentally do too much damage to him. I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's a fairly squished GG. And it's all downhill from here for Grievous. Poor Grievous, it's not looking pretty at all. I think we actually... Yeah, now we do the call to action just to decrease the stacks. And there goes Grievous. Get the big AoE off from Chupio. Chupio goes Burt. Lovely jubbly. Newt comes back to add insult to injury and then gets shot in the face by Han Solo. It's only justice. Next up, we've got that weird Maul, Sidious, Nest, Sith squad. I'm seeing these sort of squads quite a lot at the moment. And they're annoying more than they are difficult. This one does have Sith Trooper in. I thought that might be difficult. We decided to go in with Bounty Hunters here because I was thinking, well, we could always get Mando to annihilate Nest. Of course, with all the stealth that's going on, we can't really trigger our contract, which is a little bit very annoying. But we persevere all the same. This, I think, was actually my first time using Zam's Omi, I think, on offense as well. I was kind of hoping I had a place to use her against the GL, but no luck just yet. We just keep on attacking into Nest and doing absolutely nothing. Can't hit anybody. I decide to get the armor shred on her, because you never know. Maybe I come to a position where I just can't get the annihilate off. Dooku terrifies me there, dealing a lot of damage to my Bosk. And I got a little bit worried right now about, you know, how much damage my Bosk was taking. That overconfident decreasing his defensive capabilities was a little bit concerning. And you could see me looking at Aura Singh's moveset as if to say, what does she even do, guys? Does anybody know? She's just there to pass stats as far as I can see. Just flip it on back and reverse it, I think, here. No, yeah, please do. Please flip it on back and reverse it. No, apparently not. And then there's the stun on Bosk as well, which is a little bit frustrating. We couldn't call anybody to assist because we were all dazed, and I'm like, I need to kill someone. Sith Trooper finally becomes the weakest target. I'm like, yes, can we maybe start getting towards contract? And he's dead already. We're already 20% through our contract at the moment, and I'm getting a little bit edgy. Go after Count Dooku here with a basic, lots of hits, and he dodges. And I'm like, okay, this is fine. But he's okay. Go for the mass assist here on Maul. Lovely jubbly, and now he's stealthed. Oh, Zam just deletes Nest there. I was like, okay, I guess we don't need the the disintegrate from our Mando in the end. And I'm sure we're going to have a couple of thousand more dodges coming out of Sidious any moment now. Here we go. Oh, no dodge. Oh, no dodge. But yeah, at this point, there isn't really anything they can do, and apparently we're just not going to hit contract ever. Got 80% of our contract done. And Dooku is the only person alive. I'm like, I don't want Dooku counterattacking me. Let's get a daze on him. Good. Throw some grenades on him. Good. Do a mass stun. Go. Can we recover all the banners? Not quite. Damn. So we dropped the banner there. It was a weird battle, but we got it done. And the final battle for the ground in the North Wall was the Mon Mothma Kyle-Katarn. I decided, you know what? I don't need my JML for the last two teams in the South. I'm just going to throw JML in here and absolutely destroy him. I didn't need it elsewhere. Yeah, I could have used it for one of the weak teams in the back wall, but an IG-11 lead is not exactly a scary thing to face. So we just, yeah, it's kind of a one-sided affair there. 65 banners, surprisingly, with a full team of really strong Jedi. Who knew? And that does lead us to Fleet. Now, on the Fleet, we get to see what he has put down on defense, and that is obviously going to be the R9 Executor that he has, which is troublesome, and also a Negotiator. I see this Fleet back wall, and I get a little concerned. It's the IG-11, IG-2K comp on his R9 Exec, which is designed to counter a Malev comp. So yeah, I get a little bit worried thinking, well, I can't just go straight in with a Malev comp. I'm going to have to go through with a burner fleet first. And then we've got to hope for the tap on the Malev there, because we've got a Negotiator counter go after that. And that's exactly what we do. We go ahead and I choose some really weak ships with First Order just to go ahead and burn out all of his abilities. We want to get rid of his AoE at the start, the mass assist. We want to get rid of any assists from here. And if possible, it's nice to burn out Bosk's taunt as well, but we put something a little bit too weak for that to happen. So now that we've burned off most of the cooldowns, we're going to go ahead and jump in with my standard Malev counter. I don't use the TIE Fighter Pilot one. We go in with the Sunfac starting lineup with Hyena Bomber, Vulture Droid, Spy, Soldier, and then throw in Ebon Hawk as a final. So the match kind of hinges on whether or not we clear this. He full cleared us, guys. So he actually one-tapped our exec fleet as well. He must have got the one-tap off with the Malev, which is a little frustrating. Means we need to get the full clear as well. So he gets the taunt out straight away, and then he's got the obvious heal ability. Now the key thing here is his IG-2K was not able to stun because we burned the cooldowns. Super. So I go ahead and cleanse. You got to make sure we get rid of all that breach at every opportunity. I throw the Buzzies over onto Bosk here, and then we throw the Buzzies onto the rest of the team. The IG obviously dodges because he has foresight, but that's okay. And we keep focusing on Bosk because we have no other choice, and he calls in Xanadu Blood. So our first bit of RNG now will be when we call in Spy. Hopefully with our Spy we'd target the Xanadu Blood, and that would be like best case scenario for us. So we call in Spy here, fingers crossed we get a good counter. Boop! We get the Razor Crest. It's not the worst, but 2 or 3 dodges there. Dodge. Dodge. 4 dodges I counted there on that Razor Crest. I was like, okay, fine, maybe we can still kill it. And then the double tap there taking out the our Hyena Bomber, and I'm like, oh, we're screwed. Like, this is just game over straight out the gate. Hopefully I can still kill Razor Crest, because I need to get rid of that, otherwise it will come back with a second life. But this was pretty terrible RNG, unfortunately. If that Razor Crest hadn't dodged 4 times, we probably would have had a better chance of winning, but unfortunately, just wasn't on the cards. So that puts me in a really, really bad spot, because I've still got to clean up the Executor, I've got to kill the Negotiator, and I've got to kill his Empire fleet. And we've got Rebels, Holdo, and our own Negotiator. Those are our options available. So it takes some time to think, how am I going to do this? Because if I can't full clear fleet, that's the end of the game. Can't do anything. Let's see what happens. So we decided in the end to go in with the Rebel fleet. I figured this was my best use of it, and I wasn't really going to use the Rebels against the Negotiator or the Negotiator or the Empire fleet. So I want to try and take out the IG-2K at the start if possible, but obviously we don't want to give too much TM over to their Bossk. They focus down on my Bistan, which makes me a little hairy, and we are able to take out that Xanadu Blood very early. So I decided a full send on the IG-2K, and I'm like, come on, let's get the kill. That's what we needed. We needed that. And then we just need to kill Houndstooth now. We do know he does still have his Boba Fett, I want to say, on the bench. So we're not out of the woods just yet, but right now it's looking salvageable at least. So I decided to do a bit of a wiggle here, I want to say. Perhaps not. We get rid of the taunt on Houndstooth. That makes more sense. I think we should call in the Y-Wing here to get the extra protection. I'm trying to remember. It was a while ago. Apologies. And we see if we can land the shield disruption, which we do. And we do take out the Slave One, which is great. So we're just left with Bossk now. And now it's a case of, can we deal enough damage to this Bossk before they reach the ultimate? That's the thing that ties this together. We need to be able to clear it out. So I try and keep my Bistan ships alive, because that actually gives us quite a lot of bonuses. It's got good damage output. It can force target lock. That'll keep our bigs alive. So I'm just hoping right now that we've got enough in the tank to just kill this before they hit the ultimate, before they just stay alive indefinitely. Let's go. Unfortunately, Bossk is obviously very, very tanky, and most of our damage is coming from the Millennium Falcon. So if we don't get assists, we're in big trouble. I call in the Outrider here, which may or may not have been a mistake, but I figured it's got a bit of extra recovery on it. Hopefully we'll land it. We don't land the shield disruption, unfortunately, and I'm getting very nervous right now because I'm thinking, oh god, it's only a matter of turns before he gets off his ultimate, and that could spell the end for us. Go ahead. Come on, do something. We need to kill him. Does good damage. Call the assist. Get something good. No, I want the Millennium Falcon, not you other ships. Come on, we need to get there. That ultimate is encroaching. We get the target lock. Come on. We just need a good assist. Good assist. Get the Millennium Falcon in there. Oh, it's coming down. It's coming down. He's only got that bonus protection, which we can obviously remove with Millennium Falcon on its basic. Oh, it's so close. He's hanging in there by a thread. We just need one assist from the Millennium Falcon, and he is refusing to assist. So I get the bonus, and we take out the Houndstooth. Happy days. Only 40 banners, but that is the R9 exec done and dusted. I was like, wow. Things are close. Things are close, but we have burned through a lot of fleets here. We have to win the mirror match on the Negotiator. We just have to do it. Otherwise, we are in so much trouble. So I'm a little bit nervous at this point. Obviously, everything hinges on this next Negotiator battle, essentially. Unfortunately for me, I'd realized this week that I'd locked in with my General Kenobi. 2 of his mods were not 6E, so I was missing speed. So I was definitely going to go second on this. I decided to take a risk and go for the Rex lineup here, just to try and get the extra speed. And I go in with a full contingent of support, because I was like, I need to have everything on the board here in order to get the win. And here we go, loading in. The stress is real at this point. We've had good ground game. We can definitely clear his ground and win. He obviously goes after the after ours. We don't land the buff immunity. He gets the AoE off, boop, 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 and immediately kills our Anakin. I was like, we got so unlucky there that we didn't trigger Anakin's bonus turn where we did that AoE, because if we'd have triggered that, he would have had his AoE, and then they would have done the mass assist, and it would have triggered our unending loyalty, and we still would have survived, because you can't die in that same turn. So we're screwed. Long and short of it, game over from here. There's no way we clear this fleet without having our own Anakin on the board. I'm like, there's nothing we can do. Literally nothing we can do. I could call in Plo to try and, recover a little bit. But, we did the taunt with our BTLB Y-Wing when we had buff immunity, of course, because he landed his buff immunity. And, without Anakin here, everything just falls apart. Completely falls apart. And it was very frustrating to know that on the ground, we absolutely destroyed. But a couple of bits of RNG that just didn't go our favor in fleet. The dodges on the Executor lineup, and now the opening moves here from the Negotiator Mirror just ended it for us at the gate. Very disappointing, but sometimes fleet RNG just doesn't go in your favor, guys. It's not much you can do about it. I call in Umbaran here to try and get a kill on Anakin, and of course he survives with like next to no health. I'm like, well, okay. And then I'm pretty certain he gets the unending loyalty out the gate now. And I'm like, okay, well, that's just typical. So yeah, there's unfortunately we just don't have the fleet commanders now at this point to actually clear the rest of fleet. We've got our resistance Holdo capital ship, and that's it. No other ships. Don't have anything else to support, unfortunately. So we lost there, and I was not a happy person. Not a happy scribble. We tried to go for at least a consolation cleanup here by throwing in Holdo, but it doesn't look particularly pretty. There's no way that I can catch up because he did get the full clear. If he'd have not been able to cleared our ground section, because he did drop I want to say 2 or 3 battles on ground, then it would have been fine. But him full clearing and us not full clearing, it doesn't matter how efficient you are, you lose that battle, right? So we go in anyway just to get a little bit of experience. How does the Holdo fleet compare up to a Negotiator fleet? But of course, as is typical with fleet RNG with us for this particular GAC, literally the worst thing that can happen happens. So we obviously go straight in, and his Negotiator has got the mass assist out the gate and just wrecks our face. Like, okay, well, I guess we'll just not have any ships. Trusty's SF-17 tank, living up to its name. I know it's only 5-star, guys. I'm just having a bit of fun here. But yeah, we just don't stand a chance right out the gate. We're just dead. So big sad, but that is how it is, unfortunately, guys. And I was so frustrated after doing so well on the ground that I just rage quit at this point. Full on rage quit at this point. Didn't even bother attacking his remaining 2 squads in the south because I thought, what's the point? What's the point? C'est la vie, c'est la vie. You can't win them all, guys. That one was definitely winnable, but I just let my tilt get in the way of me, and the fleet RNG was not particularly in our favor. Never mind. Hopefully rounds 2 and 3 go a little bit better. Catch them very soon. Peace out, guys. Just giving a quick shout out to my patrons. I appreciate each and every single one of you, and without your support, I wouldn't be doing this today. Thanks so much.